can shake you, run past. Look at this. Look at
we got a clip of him
I want you to show him, please.
Just breaking ankles on the football field.
You know what he look like, though? Come on, look at him, though.
I was saying that I thought he was going to be the rookie of the year, and that was before he even got drafted. I'm like, man, I haven't seen nobody like Gibbs in a while.
Out of Gibbs, Taylor, and Bijan, where would you rank? How would you rank?
Gibbs has got a lot of praise in Detroit. Is there anything for you that makes him stand out or reminds you of your own Lions days?
Oh, well.
At just 23 years old, Jahmyr Gibbs has already established himself as one of the most explosive talents in all of the NFL. From leading the league in total touchdowns last season to claiming the RB1 spot on one of the NFL's most high-powered offenses, Gibbs has already made quite the impression in his very young career. So much so that some of the sport's greatest players have weighed in with their opinions, and most often, their praise for the Lions' star back. And look, Jahmyr Gibbs is a beast, but don't just take that from me. In today's video, we're going to go over different times that players, coaches, and even analysts are talking about why Jahmyr Gibbs has become truly and utterly unstoppable. All right, KRICH crew, we are back with another one, and your boy's got breakfast ready to go. He's eating. Let me know. Would you put anything on your eggs? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. But throwing on the hat, and I know, probably not the best timing for the video after we saw what happened last night with the Lions and Eagles, but nonetheless, Gibbs was probably still I'd say the high point for the Lions last night. I mean, it kind of does suck that they didn't convert on any of those fourth downs that they had last night. Maybe they got one of them, I think, but it didn't really matter. They weren't going to win that game, and if they had converted those, it might have been a different story, especially considering that Gibbs might have actually been able to get into the end zone a couple times, but that's a whole different story, a whole different video for a different time, because the Eagles, the Lions, it's a very confusing NFL season right now. Well, let me know what you think, because really, I don't know what's going to happen now. Just the NFC is wide open, wide the bleep open. So, but as always, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any video ideas down in the comments, and I will make sure to try and get one of those up this week. We have a special little video coming at the end of this week too, that just trying some new stuff out that one of you guys suggested, and I will be posting it maybe even only in the members section. But as always, now with all of that out of the way, we have to talk about just Jahmyr Gibbs, because he even started showing flashes of just how good he was going to be while he was playing at Georgia Tech. He was a bona fide dual threat back whose talents deserved more than just 6 wins in 2 seasons, which caused him to transfer to Alabama. Legendary head coach Nick Saban spoke on Gibbs as a transfer, praising the junior's character.
Well, he's an outstanding player. He's a very mature person. He's got great work ethic. He's very talented from an ability standpoint. He's got speed. He's a really good receiver. He does a great job of pressing holes and, getting the defense to commit to things and, making a cut, and gets to top speed very quickly, which are all tremendous assets for a running back. So he's made a really, really positive impact, on our team in a lot of ways, on the field and off, and we're very pleased to have him in the program. And
well, as is often, Nick Saban was proven right. Gibbs contributed 1,300 yards and 10 total touchdowns. He made such a strong impression in his 1 year in Tuscaloosa that Bama's offensive coordinator at the time, Bill O'Brien, who has a long list of legendary players he has mentored, such as J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins, called Gibbs one of the best players he's ever coached.
There wasn't that much talk about Jahmyr Gibbs going to the draft. It was all about Bijan Robinson. And all of a sudden, here come the Lions. They take Jahmyr Gibbs. The rumor erupts. Right. And it turns out that they knew exactly what they were doing and what they were talking about.
Yeah, I think there were some questions on to whether he would run, in between the tackles and things like, that kid's tough. He's fast. He has great contact balance, and he is great in the passing game. Not only catching passes out of the backfield, but aligning and empty, doing different things like a slot receiver, and then pass protection. He's a tough kid. He's one of the best players I've ever coached. He was awesome.
And look, that's not just him trying to hype up Gibbs to kind of get him more draft kind of credentials and stuff. No. It was like proven that coming into that 2023 draft, Jahmyr Gibbs was one of the best running backs that was available on the board. Debates raged on whether Gibbs or Texas's Bijan Robinson deserved to go first off the board. And well, if there is one person that does know a thing or two about what it takes to be an elite NFL running back, it's LT. When the Hall of Famer weighed in, he made it clear that he was a fan of Gibbs's work, explaining what made him such a versatile back.
A guy that I'm looking at is Jahmyr Gibbs, the guy from Alabama who actually started at Georgia Tech and transferred to Alabama. But you look at this guy, and I mean, he is quick as all get out, very explosive in short area spaces, can catch the ball out the backfield, and this guy has speed to burn. If he gets to the combine and he runs like a 4.2, I mean, look out, he might rocket up the draft boards, much like a guy like Chris Johnson did many years ago.
And that's the funny thing, because interestingly enough, this wouldn't be the last time that Gibbs was compared to CJ2K. Even the Jags legend Fred Taylor acknowledged the similarities in their style.
You said that he's the best back at his size in the game. And when I think about that comment, it makes me really think about running back attributes. I always look at running backs and try and compare them to running backs from different eras.
Yeah.
You remind me so much of Marshawn Lynch.
That's so crazy.
Bro.
What choice just said?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. 100%.
That's crazy.
Run hard. You run like you don't want to go back home. Like anything in your way, you go get it. And you, Jay, you remind me of CJ2K, Chris Johnson.
Yeah, heard that a lot.
Ta-ta, and get missing.
Yeah.
And speaking of CJ2K, we have to hear from the man himself. Like, even he was one of the Gibbs' strongest advocates before he made it into the league, reflecting on his pre-draft expectations and how vindictive he felt when Gibbs proved to be a huge hit in the draft.
Man, I've been liking Jahmyr since he transferred over to Alabama. I said that like on one of me and Lindell podcasts. I was saying that I thought he was going to be the rookie of the year. And that was before he even got drafted. Whatever like that. A lot of people were saying the Bijan Robinson and stuff like that. I like his game, but I'm like, man, I haven't seen nobody like Gibbs in a while. I ain't seen nobody like him. Speed, the quickness, the explosiveness. I like him. I think I understand if y'all continue to feed him. I'm not sure what the plan is. I think he's still got a shot for the rookie of the year.
And now look, even when Gibbs did get drafted at 12th overall by the Lions, it did raise a little bit of eyebrows and kind of caused some questions of what were the Lions thinking and kind of all of that. But one person, specifically, I'll just tell you who it is, and Calvin Johnson, probably one of the, if not the greatest Detroit Lion of all time, made sure that he knew that he was going to be welcomed into the Motor City. On a visit to the Lions practice facility, Megatron shared some words of wisdom with the rookie.
What you thinking? What you feel?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel good though.
Everybody's excited, but we don't feel the pressure. We apply it. Through preparation.
It did take Gibbs some time to properly get going as a rookie, sharing the backfield with veteran David Montgomery as the Lions made an unprecedented run to the NFC Championship game. He still finished his rookie season with an impressive 1,261 yards from scrimmage and 11 total touchdowns. In year 2, though, Gibbs and Montgomery earned the iconic nickname Sonic and Knuckles as Detroit went 15-2 on the back of a breathtaking offense. Towards the later half of that season, too, Gibbs showed off the speed and versatility that all legends have talked about and stepped up in the absence of David Montgomery. He ultimately finished with 20 rushing and receiving touchdowns, a league best, which earned him some well-deserved recognition from the GOAT.
My first star of the week goes to Jahmyr Gibbs. He balled out in the biggest game of the year with 170 yards from scrimmage and 4 touchdowns. Jahmyr, he was the first Lion to lead the league in touchdowns since Barry Sanders. That's incredible. What a season for Gibbs. The Lions, they locked up the #1 seed in the NFC. Way to go.
And now look, when you're hearing all of that from the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady, that's one thing. But then you're going and getting compared to probably the best running back to ever put on the Honolulu Blue. Yeah, that's a different level entirely. Even when asked to compare Gibbs to himself back in his early playing days, arguably the greatest Detroit Lion of all time, Barry Sanders, was very complimentary of his spiritual successor.
Oh, well, the kid, he has that kind of skill set. He's electric. He's dynamic, right? It's hard to get a hand on him. So I feel like he's probably a lot faster than I was. He maybe not as much side to side stuff, but he has a great offensive line, and he has a great sort of, he has a great sort of support system there in the running back room with David Montgomery, right? they're a great duo. But I see some things. I mean, I see some things that are similar probably between him and myself, just with, being kind of slippery, not the biggest guys. His game is more of a speed game. And so I think there's some similarities there.
And now look, I know trying to live up to just Barry Sanders as a Detroit icon, that's so tough to do already. But when he's saying it himself, it just means so much to Gibbs probably that, he can do it and is such a key piece in this offense. And it's not even the old-time greats either that have sung Gibbs' praises, with Jonathan Taylor admitting that if he could build a running back right now, he would take Jahmyr Gibbs' vision.
Gibbs.
Yeah.
I already said myself, but I'm like, I took my speed. I might have flopped. I should have did Gibbs with the speed, me with the vision.
You think you can beat him right now?
Man, we had the chance to go, and me and Pat Surtain messed up the handoff at the Pro Bowl.
Would you have got Gibbs? So you think you can beat Gibbs right now in the 40? Just you and him?
He's closer to running the 40 than me, so he might get me.
No. It's competition. We're not racing. We're talking about next man up. Oh, Gibbs ran 4.38. They said 4.36.
Yeah. I'm not. That's a lot. And in terms of running, that's a lot. That's a lot.
You just told me you next man fast.
I'm next man fast.
So whoever's next to you, regardless of what their time is, you next man fast.
Next man fast.
And you can go.
I can go.
So I asked the question: would Gibbs beat you in a race?
Right now, currently, I don't know. Listen, I kind of ain't been on my grind. You know that boy can roll.
I know he can.
The acceleration is crazy.
So you saying you might give it to him, but
I might give it to him.
Okay.
We actually supposed to get some work in this offseason.
I would love to be there, and I can be like the commentator for that. I'll work out with y'all, and then y'all can race.
Okay, you'll get the workout in. Okay,
I still work out a little bit. I got a 6-pack still, low key.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's decent. I'm halfway decent still. They're halfway decent.
There are very few pro athletes who will admit when they're beat, and even fewer who could outrun Jonathan Taylor, but the fact that Gibbs was co-signed by one of his elite contemporaries says a lot about how highly respected he is within league circles. Another great running back of the modern era who slipped out of the first round like JT is LaShawn McCoy, and he even sees a little bit of himself in the Lions' backfield ace.
He can shake you, run past. Look at this.
We got a clip of him
I want just to show him, please.
Just breaking ankles on the football field.
You know what he look like though? Come on, look at him though.
God, dog.
See, but when you got a speed guy, that's all you got. No, not him. He's more than a speed guy. He's a real running back. So when you ask me about him, he's electrifying. He's probably the most electrifying player in football right now. Football. Yeah, not just running back, football.
And yes, that's right. The best player in all of football is quite the title. But if you've watched Jahmyr Gibbs with the ball in his hand at any point in 2025, you would probably be inclined to agree. In fact, future Hall of Famer Richard Sherman said as much on his YouTube channel after Gibbs went for 172 total yards and 3 scores on the Washington Commanders in Week 10 of this season.
I don't know what you're going to get from that defense. I know this offense and Jared Goff are going to be productive. Jahmyr Gibbs looks like one of the best players in the National Football League, not just one of the best running backs.
Like when you have a defensive guy talking about you that way, you know you're doing something right. And in 2025, Gibbs is firing on all cylinders. He's proving everyone who believed in him right, putting his doubters to shame, and earning heaps of praise from some of the greatest to ever do it in the process. Electrifying, as Shady McCoy and Barry Sanders said, is probably the best word to describe him. Gibbs definitely won't be trucking anybody as he leaves that to Demo. Instead though, he flies through gaps, punishing his defensive lapses ruthlessly. He brings the speed, the elusiveness, and the versatility to an already explosive offense, which as many NFL legends past and present have attested to, makes Jahmyr Gibbs truly unstoppable.